Okay, different view. I've got everything on my table. Look what I got now. I got some lights for my garden, and I got some more of these because I set my little Jiffy cups down in them when I start seeds. I got another tray to make, and I got all these flipping needles so I can finish the raccoon clutch. Yay. I need to finish the raccoon clutch. If my windows were not so bright, let me see if I can shut the windows. Hang on. We'll see if we can shut the windows and get it a little less bright. But I went shopping, so my kitchen table's covered in everything that I shopped for. So you're just going to have to overlook the mess. Let me see if I can get these windows shut and get the light dimmed down in the room for a minute so you can see. Lordy Bill. Okay, we've got massive wind here. Storms coming in later. I've got crap I've got to do. And I had to go and get my taxes done this morning. Best way to spend the morning. But I'm looking at a little tea kettle. It's an enamel copper, and it actually has all the little enamel things on it. You don't ever find them all intact. I love this thing. I got it at a yard sale last summer. I love this thing. Love it. I got it with a little hen and chick bowl. But what I'm going to do is make some no-bake cookies. And so that there are sneaky snacks for David when he gets in. But first, let me show you. Let me show you. Let me spin these around. Let me show you what I have crocheted. It's amazing what I can crochet. Hang on. Let me go find it. Right in here. This one is the only one I've got done. I've got another one almost done. About fell. Look at my catfish. Is this not the neatest thing? Look at his tail. Is this not the neatest thing you've ever seen? Like, I didn't know if I would like the pattern or not when I looked at it, but the more I kept making them, and he's a big catfish. He's a pretty doggone big catfish. I love him. It took me 2 days, not like full days, but 2 days of my sitting down crocheting time to make him. Once you get the body done, which is like 39 or 40 rounds, the tail you crochet on, so it's not a big, and then you crochet this on, you crochet this on, you crochet this on, you crochet these on, the lips on. The only thing you attach are the fins over here and this, the fins over here and the lips. Everything else you crochet in. Is that not the prettiest, weirdest crochet? Look how big he is. It's a big catfish. I flipping love this thing. This is the weirdest crochet pattern I've ever seen. But when I saw it, I was like, I have to make that. And I did it. And I've got a little green one started too. I love him. I love him. I love him. I have to make me one that I can keep. But I want an armadillo first. So I told David he could take him to the spring planting festival. Look how big he is. I have to stand back here. I said, you can take him to the spring planting festival and put him in your booth. But I love him. And you can actually, his mouth opens. You can actually hold him. Like I was walking around last night. Look what I caught, man. Look what I caught, man. Y'all don't be sending me messages held to review. I love this thing though. It was such a fun pattern. And it was like a $2 pattern from Etsy. I love it. I flipping love it. I think I could have made this bigger. I think my triple crochet got pulled over when I then did the the double and half double and the single. I think I pulled it too tight. But who's not supposed to be perfect? I love him. I love him. I mean, I had fun. He was a fun crochet. And maybe it's because I'm getting to know the stitches and I have a little bit more faith in myself. But I love him. Hi, Carrie. Or is it Carly? No, it's Carrie. I can see. I need to put my glasses on. Cook it. Yeah, it unnerves me to clean catfish because when you go down and you're filleting them, and they're dead, but they still have those responses and they're still growling at you going, you know, they croak at you when you're in. So I always let my husband clean the catfish. I can take a deer apart, a bear apart, a hog apart, but when a catfish croaks at me or a turtle moves, because they move for like 2 hours after you butcher them, no, I don't like that. I love him. I am tickled to death. This was a really great pattern. It was one of the few that was like the larger patterns on Etsy. There's only a few catfish patterns on Etsy. And I thought, man, can I do this? Because he was my first paid pattern. And I was like, can I do this? I love this. I'm like, look what I caught. I hold my catfish like this. I don't know how y'all do, but I hold them like this so they don't spur me. I'm extra careful with my catfish. I don't like to get spurred. But I thought, you know, am I going to pay money for something that I can't do? He was actually really easy. There was, these were the hardest parts, but it's because they don't match. And I see now why they don't match. Because this fin, when they move, they want it to look like they're in movement. And I did this one 3 times over, and I thought, why is that coming out like that? But then I did this one, and it was fine. But then I looked at the pattern, and I was like, oh, they don't match. And it's, I don't know if a channel cat or a blue cat has something like that. I don't know, but I finally figured out. I was trying to make everything match. It didn't match, but he was so much fun. He was so much fun. I'm just tickled to death. Tickled to death with how this turned out. I mean, he's not perfect. You know, I have a few spots where, you know, I probably could have done a better job of my stitch work. And I think I'm going to put another little fin on him right here. But overall, I'm tickled with him. I am very happy with how he turned out. And I'm, you know, because my first paid pattern, I was so afraid. Oh, I'm now an auntie. Okay, I'm an auntie. So I was really tickled though. This was my first paid for crochet pattern. Look what I caught. Just my catfish. It's my catfish. My shirt is like way too big for me. I'm sorry. But we're gonna make no-bake cookies today. But I just had to share this because he was fun. It was a fun pattern. I'm gonna do an armadillo next. Well, I got a skunk pattern now too. I may do a skunk. But I was really tickled with him, and I've got a green one that I've just got to put the fins on. I've got to do the tail and the fins. So and he's smaller. I did it with a smaller yarn, so he's going to be about that, well, about there. So he's going to be a smaller one than this one. But I'm really loving this one. I love him. All right, let me put him up. Okay, oh, and then, let's see, this purse. I made these purses. So I've got the handle and bottom kit. It's actually got feet on it. Does it? Oh no, this one doesn't have feet. This is just the bottom kit and the top, and then I completely made the middle. It is a coyote hide that I've wrapped and seamed together, and then I've got the tail tacked so it looks like it's curled up there. Love this. So I made that. I've got a sled here that I'm going to redo. I made this little raccoon pocketbook with a little leather handle. Just a really simple little pocketbook. Enough room for a phone and lipstick and a compact. I thought he was cute. And I've got the back end of him working on another clutch with an antique handle on it. But I had to get more needles because I broke every needle in my house trying to do it. It is a metal on metal sewing experience, and I have to use the pliers, and it takes a really fine needle, and I'm going to have to break 5,000 needles. That's the only way to get it done. And so I just went and bought a bunch of needles and made peace with it. And then I found this little faux purse. I don't know if it's faux or not. Actually, it's really nice quality. I found it at a thrift store. It had maybe been carried twice. And I brought it home, and I put a coyote face on it. Here's his ears. I need to tack his ears so they stay straight. I put a coyote face on it, and then I put dangles with bison bone beads. So he's got more dangles on him up here with bison bone beads. But this is a coyote face, a tanned coyote face. I need to fix his ears to where they stay like that. I may tack them down. I don't know. But anyway, here's his ears. And I put a coyote face on there with dangles and bison bone beads. So you can either show the coyote face when you're packing it. You can either show the coyote face, or you can flip it and show the fringe. I guess depending on the level of freaky you want to scare people with. I don't know. But I did that. I thought it was cute. And I think the next thing, I've got 2 more coyote faces, and I've got an Arctic foxtail. And I think I'm going to make a dream catcher with a coyote face in the middle, and then do the Arctic fox as like the main feather drop, and then add leather around it. I don't know. I'm thinking about that. That's what I'm thinking of. Thank you, Olivia. I appreciate that. My husband's a trapper tanner, and he gives me the leftover stuff that I ask for it, and I like to do stuff with it. I am Scots Irish and Cherokee. I look like my Irish father. My mother's mostly Native. And I just like to do this. I was taken to powwows and learned a lot of art from the elders when I was little, and I just like to kind of keep it up. And I have a neuromuscular disorder that's attacking my organs, and so I can't work anymore. I'm a retired pro lobster, and I'm used to working a lot, and so it drives me nuts to be home. I'm bored. And on the days I feel good, I'm bored. I don't have a whole lot of days I feel great, but I'm doing better. But in order to kind of keep my sanity, and I've got a lot of arthritis issues as well, but the neuromuscular disorder is worsening. It's like MS. In order to keep my finite motor skills, I do a lot of crafting. I do a lot of dream catchers. I do a lot of sewing. And it keeps you in touch with the heritage, and it keeps you busy so you don't go crazy. Everybody's coming and going, hello, mama, mommy. Lord, I'm getting marriage proposals. Lord, have mercy. Lord, y'all are having a really bored day. Lord, I just said my husband's a trapper tanner. I've been married for 22 years. Lord, my children are grown with children of their own. I'm a grandma 3 times over. But I do enjoy making these things. This was a labor of love, because I had to applique stitch that sucker on there and then bead every one of these. I said some wordy dirts. Not gonna lie. Okay, let me put these up. Oh, and then I bought this sled. It's a decorative sled. I bought this at a thrift store. I'm gonna paint it and probably stencil or paint something on it. And then I'm gonna do some fur. I may put a raccoon skin hat on it, a big bow, and stencil it, to go with the theme, and maybe even tie a foxtail to it and then sell it as like a little vignette. That's what I'm thinking. Look at all my plants. They're doing wonderful. I have the started seeds up there. I potted that one yesterday, and I'm hoping that they do well. I don't know. I potted my lotus seeds, and I don't know how they're going to do. But I did get them in soil. Now, I have never grown lotus before, so it's a learning curve. But I'm going to try. And I did get them. I grew them for like 7 weeks in the water, soaking the seeds. They germinated, they grew, they developed their root balls, and I let that go on for like 3 weeks until they had like 1.5 to 2 inch long roots. And then I planted them yesterday, and I potted them. And I don't know if they're going to make it, y'all. I just don't know. I really hope they do. But I've never grown lotus before, so it's a learning curve. So I'm kind of learning as I go. Okay, so it's going to storm here tonight. I need to take a rest before I have to do the dinner rush and all that stuff. I've got to be back down on the farm at some point. My dad's not feeling well. He went for to have some shoulder stuff checked out and knee stuff checked out. If you don't know, my dad used to be a farrier, a blacksmith, and his joints are where they leak calcium. They're solidifying. So it's almost like that disorder that affects newborns is called FNP. It's almost like that, only as a senior citizen, the calcium dripping in his joints is solidifying. And he still goes like he's 45. He's almost 73. He still goes like he's 45. He gets around probably better than I do on most days. But his knees and elbows they look awful. And there's really nothing they can do unless they want to break the joints and give him fake joints. And he doesn't want to be down that long because he manages the cattle farm still. So they're going to see how how the doctor can help him. And what I'm going to do is make some no-bake cookies so that every time somebody says, you got any snacks? I don't have to stop what I'm doing, make a grilled cheese or put something, because it annoys me. I'm not a short order cook. I don't want to do that all the time. So we're just going to see what I come up with. I think I kind of know the recipe. How hard can it be? We're fixing to find out. So you need butter. And you can do salted butter, and they actually recommend salted butter. So I just use Blue Bonnet unless I have that Irish butter. But you can also, people, they just have Country Crock and stuff. It works just fine too. Matter of fact, I'm going to use Blue Bonnet. And then instead of milk, I'm going to use heavy cream. And we need imitation vanilla. What else do we need? I'm just thinking right now. We need sugar. Let me get the sugar out. I use the golden sugar and the white sugar. So this is golden sugar. It's just the pure cane sugar. Put my flour back over here. We're going to need sugar. What else are we going to need? We're going to need salt. Oops, sorry, bumpkins. Salt. We're going to need peanut butter. We're going to need cocoa. Where's my cocoa? Hang on. I'm in the cabinet behind you. Give me just a minute. Where's my cocoa? There it is. We're going to need cocoa. Oats. Where's my oats? There's my oats. Going to need oats. Quick oats. I said simple, but it doesn't look simple, but it's really not difficult. It's just a lot of stuff that you got to put in there, but it's not a difficult process. Oh, so what else do I need? I'm missing something. Eggs. No. Why did I say eggs? I got my milk. I'm going to make brownies later. That's why eggs came out of my mouth. I think we got it, y'all. I think that's pretty much it. I think. Okay, and I'm gonna get me a pan. Get me just an old cake pan, just an old Dollar General cake pan. And I'm gonna use the lid too, but I'm gonna set it on top of the cake pan, and so I have 2 layers of cookies when I cool them in the refrigerator. I think smarter, not harder. I'm like, think about things and don't screw yourself over. Okay, this is my favorite stirring spoon when I make these things because nothing sticks to it, but it stirs really well. So anybody, that's what I recommend. And if you use wooden utensils, make sure that you boil them out. Hi, Annette. Make sure that you boil them out like every couple months or more often if you use them a lot. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 cups of sugar. I'm going to stir mine up down here. That yellow sugar is good. It's like all natural. But it does have a tendency to draw dampness more than other sugars. So every once in a while you kind of have to scrape it up. But that's okay. We'll live. Let me get my cup. Ouch. This is my half cup. Yes. We're going to do 2 cups of sugar. This is my half cup. So 1 cup. I don't eat these, in case you're wondering. 1.5. 2. Okay, I'm making a mess. Par for the course. Put my little spoon back in here. Okay, a little bit of salt. I'm putting it in a saucepan. A little bit of salt. And we're going to put normally 2 to 3 tablespoons of cocoa. I eyeball everything. I'm about out of cocoa. Lord, I got to get more. I use a lot of cocoa. I use it in my homemade ice creams and stuff. So Cocoa, let's see here now then. I just put new nails on and I can't function in the kitchen yet. Ooh. Ow, 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 ow. You want to put a whole stick of butter because you want a half cup of butter. So I'm going to put it in here and let it start melting. Throw your trash away. Keep your work area clean. I like to put a heaping helping of I know I can't eat these, Annette. These are for David and his brother when he comes over here, and other people that rummage through my refrigerator and go, "You got a snack?" I just pour, like, you can put a few tablespoons of vanilla in there. I just kind of pour until I think it looks good. We're just making those no-bake cookies. I'm doing a different hot recipe this time. I'm going to start low heating this front burner. And instead of milk, I'm using heavy cream just to give them a richer flavor. And then we'll put 3 cups of oats in there when this gets melted, and we'll put a half a cup of peanut butter in there when all this kind of starts to melt. So you're just going to watch your ingredients, and when the sugar and the butter and the milk and everything and the cocoa kind of comes together, then you'll add your other stuff and bring it to just a little simmer, a little hot simmer. And then you'll add your oats and your peanut butter, work it in, cook it for a couple, 3 minutes. You know, just at that low simmer to let everything kind of cook and get the oats off. There is a recipe where you don't have to do any of that, but when I have time, he prefers this one. And when you start mixing it all up, it will start looking like that. I got chunks of butter in there. So we're just going to let that work over the stove for a minute. I'm going to get, Annette, you're going to have to watch this back, and you're going to have to go and look at my catfish that I crocheted. I'm going to put a little bit more heavy cream in there. I eyeball everything. I don't measure anything anymore. I'm too old to measure. Life's getting too short to spend it measuring stuff. We're going to let this start melting the butter. Yeah, it was my first pattern I paid for, and I was like, am I paying for a pattern that I'm not going to be able to do? Because I was not confident in my skills yet. Oh no, he turned out great. I'm in love with him, and I've got another one about 3/4 the way done. Then I'm going to do an armadillo. I'm going to eyeball out about a half a cup of peanut butter. If you don't eyeball yet in your life, you can go ahead and measure it. David loves peanut butter, and I can tolerate it, but I can't eat a whole lot of it. Today I barely ate it all. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I had to get my taxes done this morning. That kind of put me off anything today. Taxes are not my favorite thing to do. But didn't owe them anything this year. I still can't believe we owed them anything last year, but it was because the HR mix-up after Biden changed the paperwork. Well, he changed the meaning of the paperwork. He changed the meaning of goose egg drawn 0. Oh, it made me so mad. I love it. I can do the blanket crochet and stuff too, but I really like to sit down and make something that, can I do it? Is it going to look like something? Is it going to look like an animal? And the first few I made did not look good, but now I'm like, oh, I'm getting better. But I was really like, can I do this? Am I going to pay like $2.99 for this and not be able to do it, which was my fear. No, I did it, and he turned out great, and I'm just tickled. I'm so proud of him. I'm going to add another fin to him because I want to. I think it would balance him out better. But I like him. I liked him so much I got another one going. And I put flowers on one of my turtle shells the other day, and I'm fixing to do a tortoise or a turtle. You can do it with a sunflower shell. And then I've been doing otters, and they make really easy, and they turn out really cute. I'm fixing to do my armadillo, and then I bought a skunk pattern, but I'm only buying like the couple $3 patterns. I'm not buying the big ones. Okay, we're starting to loosen up down here, y'all. That sounded really bad. We're starting to loosen up down here. I hate that the light is causing me problems, but I got nowhere else to stand. I'm in front of the stove. And I hate y'all always seeing my dirty sink. So we're starting to loosen up down here. My butter's getting worked in. And I may, because I like to put a little bit more liquid in mine with when I use cream, the heavy whipping cream, I may end up having to put a little bit more oats, but it's got so much sugar in it, you can fudge the recipe. It's pretty lenient because it's still going to taste good. Now, they do have them where you don't have to do any of this. You just have to overnight them in the fridge, but if you got a minute, these always do turn out better. I've been so busy, and I've got to rest a minute before these storms start to build so I can be up tonight. But I thought, let me get this done, or I'll have to do 15 things at the stove later. But I thought I can rest until I have to make dinner if I do this now. I had a busy morning, y'all. So busy. I did get to see my friend from high school today, though, and we got to catch up. That was fun. She's just as surly as ever. Bless her. I love her to death. So that was fun. I always like to see my friends that I went to school with my whole life. It's like we never miss a beat. We just fall right back into friendship. I love that. I've got one leg on Eeyore left to do, and because I had to run all morning, I didn't get to finish him. So I've got to finish him in the morning so I can get him in the mail to Ashley this weekend. And I've got Serendipitous. She won the Velveteen Rabbit, so I've got to get him in the mail too. And so, but everything else I needed to do this week, I've gotten accomplished on Wednesday. So woohoo for me. I even did my physical therapy early yesterday. I do it every day, but with the therapist. So I'm moving right along. Just got a few pieces of butter yet to break up, and then we'll be getting to the warmer, ooey gooey stage. I haven't even watched news or anything yet today. I'm so far behind, but I've been focused on me. This morning, my arm started to swell again. This arm, twice in the last week, has just started swelling. And I think it's where they took blood from me last week at the endocrinologist. And it's just like a delayed flare reaction, but I don't know. That's got to be what it is, my RSD, but it turns really red and piebald and swells up. It did it a couple days ago, and I thought, it's probably from where they punched around on me getting blood. And then this morning, I noticed when I got up, it was doing it again. I don't know if I laid on it funny and re-aggravated it. I don't know. This disorder, it does strange things to my body. And I just kind of roll with it and document it with my nurse and stuff. But it's gone back down. It's still a little discolored right there, but it's gone back down. I'm going to say it's from where the phlebotomist had to take my blood and was not kind. But it's just, normally I have like a quadrant, like it'd be a whole top quadrant or a lower quadrant that does this, but it's just been the forearm this time. I don't understand. So if anybody else has reflex sympathetic dystrophy, if you have that issue, if your flares changed, like I know mine have grown to where they attack my organs now at times, but this one seemed to be just isolated to my forearm. If you have had yours change and augment like that, let me know. And if you don't want to put it in a comment, you can email me at watersworkload, all one word, watersworkload@gmail.com. It's just been a really weird experience. Is it raining there? It's not raining. The sun's still trying to shine here, which is kind of freaking me out because it's going to amplify the storms. Well, they have tested me for lupus, and I don't have it. But, you know, I really thought that it would come back positive when they did, but it didn't. It never has all the times they've tested me. But I'm just going to chalk it up as a flare, a really weird flare, because I don't know what else to call it. I had to stop at the dollar store because the first thing I did was pop a nail off this morning, so I had to get me some French manicure to put on because I wasn't going to go anywhere looking scraggled without my nails. So I had to run in, and when I ran in to get me nails, then I found a casserole dish I just needed to have. Then I thought I better get paper towels that I forgot at Walmart, and then I thought, oh, let's just go ahead and get that big pack of needles I know they have here. And then I was like, well, let's just go ahead and get David's laundry detergent, that Persil, I don't know. And by the time I got out of the store, I was like, all because I popped a nail off my finger. It is a pretty casserole dish, though. Well, that's not nice, David. Es muy mal. ¿Qué pasa, hombre? No me gusta. Eres un pentagon. I used to work for a Puerto Rican man. It frustrates me because, you know, I had wore these for like a week and a half. The brown and green ones I had on, they were really pretty. Oh, I'm getting to the point where I can add my oats. And then get in the flipping. This is a really unflattering angle. Get in the Jeep this morning. First thing I did was send a nail flying. Could not find it to save my life. Oh, this is my new oats. Oh no, don't do this to me, oats. Don't. You better not do it to me. Don't make me get a knife. Oh, it's going to make me get a knife. That wasn't nice of you. You know what that reminded me of? The first thing you do when you gun an animal, it's field dressed, but then you hang it up in the processing shed to start taking apart. You hang it up with the speed up like this, and the first thing you do is bring its butthole to detach its intestines from everything else so you can. That's what that reminded me of. I know the things I tell y'all, but that's what it reminded me of. Just thought you might want to know. Okay, so now we've got a really creamy mixture in here. That's what that reminded me of. Muscle memory, it's strange. Okay, we're going to do about 3 cups of this. So this is a half cup thing, so. I'm going to start with 3 and see what I think it needs. If it needs more, I'll put more in there. You want to work them in. We're going to keep it cooking on a little low simmer for a few minutes. What I may do, if I have enough of this, I may put it in my pan and then cut them into squares later. I don't know. I might. I've done that before, and it worked pretty good. All right, we're just going to stay over this and keep it moving so it doesn't burn, and just work our oats until our oats get soft. Oh, somebody's going down the main road just thumping. But I've been going. I got up at 3 this morning because David got up at 3. When he wakes up, the whole house he's not quiet. And I did some computer work I needed to do, and prep some other crap that I'm doing with emails and stuff with people. And then I helped him pack for lunch. And then I decided to sit and work on some crochet that I just needed to finish a couple little things on, like putting some pink yarn for blush or lining the eyes with a different color. And then I rounded up all my paperwork, which I had kind of already rounded up. I just needed to make sure I had everything. And I did sit still for about an hour after that and crocheted. And then I went to my tax appointment, and then I went to the Dollar Store. And then I did a couple errands in town, and then I came home and did a few more errands phone-wise here. Then I ate my lunch. What was my lunch? Oh, a salad, an apple walnut pecan salad. Cranberries. And then I thought, well, I better do this or I'll be stuck doing it on top of trying to cook dinner. And I don't like to double down like that. I'm going to put another half cup of oats in there. And that's just because I put heavy cream in there, and I like to put a little bit more heavy cream. And I just need to thicken it back up. I eyeball everything, y'all. Just going to let this cook for another minute or two. And then I think I'm just going to pour it in this cake pan. I'm going to spray it. And I'm going to pour it in this cake pan. And then I'm just going to cut it when it's good and cold. I normally do the rounds because it's what he's used to. But to save me time and frustration today, I'm just going to pour it in there and let it solidify in the fridge, and then I'll cut it into squares later. I've got a really good hickory knife that'll cut through anything. And that way, I'm not sitting here trying to spoon this out forever. I can just pour it in the pan. It was really good. The salad was really good. You can get the makings for them at different grocery stores, and then I just add a little bit of grilled chicken meat in them, grilled chicken breast, and they're really good. I really like them. And I just make a little small, like mustardy vinaigrette sauce to go in them with a little bit of honey. It's really good. Really, really, really good. Yeah, it's like a thin honey mustard sauce. That's what I put it on. Okay, we're getting almost there, y'all. You just want to really let your oats cook for a few minutes. The one that soaks them all night and does it as a gel, it's good too. It's okay. But these have a richer texture, a richer taste to them. And so if I ever have time, I do this. I mean, they both eat as well, but I can taste the difference. I don't know if I've never asked David if he can. I just know I can. And I always do take like a little nibble to see if they turned out good. But I just really can't eat a lot of these. I just can't. We're almost there. And yeah, it's normally 3 to 5 minutes, depending on if you have to put more oats in. But I eyeball everything. So when it looks right, I'll take it out of here. Anybody else? That's who I've become in my old age. Well, that sounds good. It had some blue cheese crumbled in it. Just because it's just a sweet salad, just to add a little bit of sharp to it. It was really nice. It was very nice. Okay, it looks about right now. Seems like it's the right consistency. Honestly, it looks like a cow pie that's been in the summer heat. I know y'all just love me. I'm just going to pour it in this pan and kind of push it out to where it's all kind of the same height. And then I'm going to put it in the back of my mudroom refrigerator, and after it solidifies, I'll come back and cut it into squares because, y'all, not feeling it today. I'm not going to sit here and spoon this into... I need to rest before I start dinner and these storms come through because I know I won't rest when that happens. And I need to check on Mom and Dad and see if they got back. The wind here is horrible, and I didn't like them driving in that wind. So I need to check on them. And make sure you put water in your pot. Future you will thank you. And if you don't, future you will get very mad at you. Because that sucker will stick. Alright, I'm just thinning them out. It looks like kind of like a cake pan of brownies right now. I normally do them in the circles. I let it cool and then I drop them in circles. Nobody got time for that today. Okay, so it made a whole cake pan. And I'm just going to put the lid on. I'm going to put them in the back fridge and they're going to cool for me slowly so they don't sweat. Let me turn these around here. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I try to be practical. It doesn't always occur. I mean, sometimes I follow the recipe and I'm like, you know, it would have been easier if I'd done that. I don't think about those things. I just don't. But this is one of my go-to recipes for David to have something to nibble on. It's packed with protein, gives him a little bit of sugar in his system. And if you saw the pictures I posted today, one of his coworkers was like, the bucket truck is an adventure ride today because it's in the wind. And David's up there harnessed in trying to work on one of the drops they're putting in. And I was like, well, at least he anchors the bucket. And we both laughed at that. So he's having a wild ride in the bucket truck today. He didn't want to put anybody else in there. It's so windy. So he put himself in there. That's my husband, the eternal Boy Scout. So they're going to try to work as long as they can because probably with the rain that's coming in tonight, they won't be able to tomorrow. There's been a lot of flooding in the area. So if it resaturates the ground, they're not going to be able to work tomorrow. So they've been busting their butts, getting some hours in the first of the week. It's probably going to be a short week for them because of the weather. But, you know, it is what it is. But I did post the pictures in the post area, the community area, if y'all want to go see what David looks like in a bucket truck way up at the telephone pole. He does every aspect of the job from the blueprints to the layout to the cutting through the forest to the ditch witching through the yards to hook up homes and to doing the drops on the poles. So he's a one-man show sometimes, but he's got a really good crew that works with him. He's not crazy about this job. Well, he likes the job. He's not crazy about the way that the guy runs the place. So I don't know if he's going to stay there long-term or not. He was at his last job for almost a decade, and he doesn't like to change jobs, and he took a big risk on this one, and I don't think it paid out for what he thought he was going to be moving into. But he's a worker, and he likes to work, and he just doesn't think they work enough for... If the man gets up and doesn't go to work, he's mad. And so he likes to work. He's a worker. On the plus side, because he had free time this winter, he's got all of the trapped animals fleshed and treated and ready to be tanned when he starts the tanning protocol this summer. So that's good. We did bust up and send a few to our lovely guy in Shady Creek? Sleepy Creek. God, see, it just my brain went. Sleepy Creek Tannery out west. It's in the Midwest. We sent them some of the bulkier items that he just doesn't hardly have the room for. It's really a difficult thing when he gets to those. So we thought we'd break it up since he's got everything ready to start tanning. I said, why don't you send some of it off? The bigger stuff so you're not cussing it. And you keep the smaller stuff and the stuff that you really enjoy doing. So I talked him into doing that to save him some headache. And that's what we're looking at. So it'll be August before anything comes back that we sent off. But we just thought that would be easier. And he's tanning the stuff that we need immediately for festivals and that we're low on in stock. So that's what he's been doing. It's been like the busiest winter when he was not busy at work, like because he always finds something to do. But I think he'll be going back to the job. But either way, I have to feed him. So that's the recipe I feed him. And we're going to have storms tonight, so I don't think I'm going to be able to craft with you. Although I will be finishing the raccoon bag I did get enough needles to sit and sew on that. As long as the storms don't get super severe, I'm going to sit and just try to sew this evening. Try to get that done. David said he had a couple of the bags posted. I don't know which ones. He said he would get the others posted as soon as possible. And I would say by this weekend he'll have them. Hang on, I gotta take out the garbage. There we go. Bye. So by this weekend he should have everything posted, I believe. Should. If his weekend turns out like I think it should. So that's what we're looking at now. I finally did find another person to buy bone beads and bison horn beads off of. So I've done another order of the burnt bone beads. I'm tickled with the way they turned out in it. I still have stuff to learn, but I'm tickled with my skills growing. But I ordered some bone beads and some buffalo bison horn beads, water buffalo and bison horn beads, both of them. And I'm going to be doing some really different dream catchers when they come in. Well, more natural, more authentic, I guess. And I'm going to be putting foxtail dangles on some. I'm really excited about that because those are, I'm going to put 2 to balance on each side and then do the feathers and the leather in between. And I'm really excited to make those. I think they're going to be really pretty. And what I'm doing is I have gotten a bunch of old fox sables, vintage and antique fox sables. And while the sable part is kind of lost, I can use some of them for beards. I'm taking those tails and making feather drops. And that way we save them from the landfill. We give them a new life. And, you know, we use fur, real fur. And I'm excited about that. And then David's got a couple of foxtails for me. I do have 1 foxtail here. I may have 2. I think I have 1 foxtail, and then I have 1 I think I have a Fisher. I don't know. Anyway, I'm trying to get a badger hide from a guy out west that we trade with. I'm trying to warm him up to get the badger hide thrown in a lot. I'm trying to trade with him. So I'm going back and forth trying to get a trade. I need a really thick deer hide in the Midwest and Upper West, skirting Canada. They have the best thick deer hides. So I want a deer hide, but I want the badger hide too. And he said, I'll throw in another thing. And I said, well, I want the badger hide. So we're going back and forth bartering. I'm going to see what else he wants to trade here. We do this every year because the different colors in the regional animals, the different types of animals, well, obviously we don't have badgers here. And we never offered a badger for sale. So I want to get a badger, and he's got a really cute one. So I've been working on that. I like to butter him up. But I did find another seller that makes the bone beads, and I'm hoping these are better than the last ones I ordered from. I've got to find a replacement for Curtis, and it's gonna be hard because Curtis spoilt me. He was Sue, and he was a little bit of everything, but he was mostly Sue, and he was wonderful. And he just 90 something years old, he retired. I understand that, but man, it's hard to replace somebody that has that much skill and talent. I mean, it's hard. Yeah, I just don't want to see him going to landfill because you know that piece of fur has helped take care of so many people, and it's long life, and it still has life left in it. It's still beautiful. And so I've been scooping them up. Every time I see one, I scoop them up. And I've been really lucky to find some foxes because foxes are normally bought immediately. So I've been really lucky. And I just really want to do a decently sized dream catcher with 2 foxtails on the side with leather fringe and beaded dangles and feather drops in the middle. And that's I see it in my head. I want to make it. So that's what I'm working on there. I eventually may do another fur mantle, but what I'm going to do now with the sables is do some gnome beards and because I've got foxes mostly, and do the fox drops on my dream catchers. We'll see what else I stumble across through the rest of the year. If you ever see an antique shop, stop and go in. And if you see those furs, think about what you might be able to do with them. They're really beautiful. They're still really wonderful items. And, just because some people look at you and frown about fur, well, listen, fur has its place. It has its uses. And if I can use something that's, already already prepped, and I'm going to do that. We have a limited number of animals that we can trap here because he only traps for the one cattle farm right now, and we're working to make that piece of property healthy, but he's not getting the numbers that he normally did because he will not pull that heavy numbers off that place in 1 year. He's got to be very careful to keep the land balanced with its number of animals. And so he's not trying to go in and pull too many. He's trying to keep an eye and know he's taking healthy numbers until we get them all in balance. The TWRA is also monitoring this and helping because they were like, yeah, this land is sick. So we're working slow but steady on that. I put myself in the middle. He's working slow and steady at that. And so his fur numbers have not been what they were. So I've been doing some bartering and trading with our counterparts in the Midwest and Upper Midwest. And I'm after that badger. After that, I want the badger hide. I'm locked in. I want it. So let's just cross our fingers that I get it. I want it. It's so cute. So cute. I want it. So that's what I'm looking at doing. We're trying to get just more to offer when David goes to these festivals and stuff. So a lot of people always ask us for certain things, and we're like, sorry, no, we can't trap that here. But as we've met more and more trappers and made a network, we can actually get hold of those things. And we all do a little swappity-roo at the beginning. We all kind of come to the table and go, well, what'd you get this year? And then we do a swap trade. And it's fun. It's fun. So I'm excited, though, because I want a badger. Okay, I'm going to take my cookies that are starting to cool. I'm going to put them in the refrigerator in the mudroom, and we're going to let them sit all night. I'll cut him into them in the morning when I pack David's lunch and send a few with him. I'll just cut them into squares. He'll be like, they're not circles. I know he will. He'll do it. I know he will. But he'll eat it regardless. And I'm going to rest before I make dinner because David probably won't be in until late. As long as the weather holds out, they're working. Then I'll make a late dinner and watch the storms. If you are in the line of these storms, please be careful tonight. They're looking to be pretty rough. I know that my RSD is horrible today. Like I said, my arm has tried to flare out of nowhere. My knees are so swollen. I've got fluid pockets on top of my knees. And I've just had some problems getting around today. And sadly, it's one of my busier days, and I've had some problems getting around. And so I know I need a break before I tackle dinner and the storms. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to put this in the fridge. He'll be fed for sneaky snacks, and whoever pops their flipping head in my door and going, you got something to chew on? Yeah. I'm getting tired of making grilled cheeses for everybody that comes by my house. So that's what I'm doing. May make some brownies this weekend. I've got a new recipe, and it's not very different from a normal recipe, but they eliminated the baking powder altogether because they said it makes them super, super fudgy. I've always just put a pinch. I'm going to try it and see if it makes any difference. And if it doesn't, I'll call their bluff. But I think I'm going to try it. And I'm having one of those. I want to make some stuff from scratch right now. So, and then if the weather perks up, I'm going to have to find one of my bonus kids to put my mulch out. So all my bonus children, if you see this, your mama Liz needs some help putting mulch out. So call me. I'll feed you. Give you good company and a lot of talking while you're busy. But I think Jonah may pop over and help me too. And I think Regina and her daughter are going to pop down at some point. And I may actually keep Regina's daughter for a couple weeks this summer because I'm going to put her to work. I love her to bits, but I'm going to put her to work. Okay, make something from scratch. It's not hard. It doesn't take much time. And if I can stand here and do it, you can too, because my legs are about gone after 5 surgeries. And watch out for the storms tonight. Nat, thanks for hanging with me. I appreciate y'all for coming and visiting. If you're new, we just chew on the fat, do some crafts, talk about life in Appalachia, and sometimes talk about the news. It's just a hi, this is life and a visit session with a friend. It's not got any other purpose than just trying to be a comfort and put a smile on people's faces. So if you'd like to be part of that, go ahead and subscribe and come back and visit with us. And pretty soon I'll know your name, your granny's name, your dog's name, your cousin's name. It's just how we roll around here. So I appreciate you spending time with me. Y'all be careful tonight with storms. And I will see you all probably tomorrow or tonight if the storms get really bad. We'll do a weather update if they do. All right. Be careful, y'all. Bye.